Welcome, everyone, to the Next Move podcast, where we go inside the minds of industry leaders to understand what's changing and what they're doing next. Today, I'm very excited to have Sean Smith with Smith CPAs and Associates. He's the managing partner, and I'll turn the time over to you, Sean, to kind of give us your background and role with the company.
Thanks so much for the introduction today. Excited to be here with you and talk about, where the future is headed and what we're doing, the exciting things that we're working on as a team. We position as a firm of the future, right? Meaning we're 100% cloud based, 100% virtual, and we're embracing a lot of the tools and the apps and the workflows and new ways of doing business, right? Or I guess, yeah, different, more streamlined ways of doing business for our clients, which means that we can give a lot more value to the end and a lot more advisory than could ever have been done before in the past. So, yeah, I'm the managing partner of a firm with 25 team members, and we operate in all 50 states. 50 United States. We're currently in 15 of them and growing. Our major focus right now is nonprofits, about 75% of our clients, and other verticals are healthcare, real estate, service-based businesses, hospitality, franchise audits, and SOC 2 audits. We do the full service accounting firm, bookkeeping, accounting, audits, reviews, CPA reviews, tax work, tax compliance, tax strategy, tax planning, business valuations, and fractional CFO work. So really, the modern name is CAS. That's what they call it now. CAS, CAS. We deliver on all of those services. So that's a little bit about us.
Awesome. Wow, that's very expensive services that you offer and you're in 50 states. That's amazing. So did you go start going in the cloud? Is that before COVID time,
Um,
essentially, or
no, kind of like with COVID,
with
because there
COVID
was
kind of?
still QuickBooks Desktop and things like that, right? And
Yeah.
QuickBooks Online was kind of like clunky, really hard to migrate from one system to another, not easy, and also wasn't probably running as well as it could have. So that took a bit of a time to fully migrate everything to the cloud.
Yeah, that's awesome. What shifts are you seeing in your industry right now? In accounting and bookkeeping.
Seeing a lot more appetite for advisory. Clients are looking to see how you can help them grow their business, make progress in their business, help them to expand quicker, make better decisions, make more money, to increase their profit levels. So I'm seeing compliance is still there, but there is a shift to a bit more, not a bit, a lot more advisory from clients that they have a hunger for that, right? Because
Right.
they know that with all these new tools, that things that used to take a week or an hour or 10 hours, some of them can take minutes or seconds now.
Right.
So they realize that I can ask for more, right? Like what more is behind the scenes, or what else can I get from my CPA
Right. Right.
or my
Yeah.
professional advisor?
Yeah, no, that's great. It's kind of like, with my company more on the advisory, really just getting to know, what the needs are out there and um helping people scale their businesses. So same with people, right? You're in the tax and accounting industry. I mean, I'm curious for that too because I own my own company, right? I need all those tools, right? Filing taxes and all those services that you offer. So that's no, I definitely agree with more advisory, really educational because you really don't know what you don't know, right? That you need somebody at your side to guide you and help you. Tools are out there, but if you don't know how to use them, it doesn't really benefit you. So you need like a coach in a way to kind of navigate that. So can you tell us a little bit more like what's working well in with your company? You kind of like the systems that you went to the cloud. Can you dive a little bit deeper of what processes are working right now and also what's kind of frustrating?
Yeah, we're figuring out our ICP, our ideal client profile, and also our workflows, our training, our resources, our capacity. So those are kind of things that are, really moving quickly for us, getting a lot better. I would say that, kind of like things that don't work as well as you like them to, or some workflow issues, bottlenecks, and there's just so much. Like you said, being a small business owner, I just work I have all the verticals in my own business: sales, marketing, admin. operations, HR, finance, accounting. Every business has that component, right? But our offer, we don't do someone's marketing, right? Or their admin. So we just focus and give the offer
Mhm.
of the finance accounting space, which is just one part of business. Now, within our own business, we have to manage all of those other areas well, right? And like you said, it's a lot to figure out on your own and it takes time. It does take coaching, probably a bit of luck if you don't have coaching, but a bit of luck even with coaching and, trialing with some things and getting to the better solution for your business. Finding really good team members to help you to row in the boat in the same direction.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Um, where do you want to take your business in the next 6 to 12 months, given with the industry or I guess where you're at right now as a future goal, where do you want to take it?
Like in terms of revenues or the client service or
Yep. Yep. Yep, any of those goals. Yep, if you have multiple, yep.
yeah, so we want to get to 45 audits, occurring audits. Those are financial audits or CPA reviews, and also to have 350 tax returns, right? That's corporate and individual. We're getting close to it, but that's kind of the goal in the next 6 to 9 months. And I would say that revenue side, north of 2 million recurring revenues in the
That's
next.
annual, right?
Yeah. And just so you know, like worldwide, less than 10% of firms crack $1 million in accounting CPA space. So
Mm,
most don't ever get there. They
right. Right.
they stay a six-figure firm. So, and then I believe to 2 million, you're down to about 5% of firms do that. And then it just like lessens amount that get to scale and grow to the next
Mhm.
level
Right, yeah. So
because it takes a lot of different skills and what worked for you in the past won't work at different levels.
Mhm.
Leadership, people, management, they all become a lot more important later on as the
Right,
business scales.
right.
Switches from a solopreneur to a small team to I'd say a very small team, then to a small team, then to a medium team, right? There's a
Mhm.
lot of different dynamics because at the beginning, the owner's doing everything. And
Right,
even as
right.
a small firm, they're still doing not necessarily everything, but still a lot and that they shouldn't be doing. So it's kind of like assigning those things that are holding the business back to get them delegated to people focused on their specialization area.
How big is your team? Just curious.
25.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, well,
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
accounting space, that's considered a small medium firm. It's no
Small,
longer
medium.
small.
Mhm. Right.
It's just on the small side of medium.
You're growing. So you're trying to get bigger, right? So everybody wants to, grow. So if you do have a magic wand, what's one thing in your business you want to fix right now?
I would say just the efficiencies of doing the work, right? The flow
Mm.
through from start to finish.
So the operational side.
Yeah, it's a constant challenge, right? The work gets done, just not quick enough, right? And
Mhm.
there's a couple factors that hold those things up. It could be multiple, but there's certain things I would say that's the biggest issue to solve. And that's why businesses stay small because they can't turn out even at high value items, not too much volume, the process is generally slower. The systems and processes and team members aren't fully trained on how things need to happen and fall into
Yeah.
place.
Do you feel like is it the tools or are there manual tasks that's being done, or can you expand a little bit more on that?
It's the tools, it's the systems, it's the processes, it's the training
And the
of the
training.
team.
Oh, and the training and the team members kind of making that more cohesive.
And some
And
of it can be client mix too, right? When you're not working with ICPs, they can throw off the workflow a lot too.
kind of automate that workflow and processes. So do you
Mhm.
feel like there is room for that to automate some of what you're doing or your team members?
Yeah, there's constant, and it's every day or month or whatever that new things are coming out and different, easier, better ways of automating.
Awesome. So if I'm understanding correctly, mainly the bottleneck or the big obstacle right now that you are facing in your business or your company is mainly more on the operational efficiency. Is that correct? Am I understanding right?
I would say it's actually also on sales and marketing too. We're
Okay.
pretty healthy. We bring in about I'd say 8 leads a week, which some bring in zero, right, or one a month.
Mhm.
So it's good, but to grow to a larger size, you need more leads, right? So
Correct.
I'd say that's the biggest bottleneck right now, and constraint would be there because without sales, it's like a vehicle with no gas; it's
Mhm.
not going
Correct.
anywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
With a
Mhm.
full tank of gas or with a lot of sales, you can fix the ops team. You can hire those people, but To have ops people hired and
Mm.
senior people and no work, that's not a good situation.
Right. And yeah, and that's most people, the people that I've met, it's yes, because if you don't have a pipeline, you don't really have a business, right? So
Mm.
no, I totally, totally agree.
So I was kind of like talking through that, which one's more important. They're all important.
Finding the
They
balance.
have to both be solved, but to me, the chicken has to come first to let, chicken and egg, but
Yeah.
the chicken has to be there for the egg. And without sales, there's no
Mhm.
eggs. Or there's no chicken, there's no eggs, and there's no
Right.
work for the ops team to work on. Or
Yep. Yeah.
not sufficient work for the ops team to work.
You mentioned you're bringing in five leads per week. That's
I would say we're getting up to about 8 now. It's been a
about 8 now.
gradual,
How are you
yeah,
bringing that in? Just curious.
multiple channels, referrals, network, newsletters, social
Do
media. Not so much social media, but I guess it's
Facebook
having some
ads?
impact.
Do you do Facebook
We
ads?
do not do any paid ads, no.
Yeah. Mhm. No.
Paid ads to me it's can work, but it can be very expensive, and also
Mhm.
the type of lead you could churn them too. You don't know what's coming in, may not be the ICP, and
Right.
also from what I've studied, you got to have a big budget to even get going at it for it to even do anything.
Yep.
I think that's like an evolution of when you're medium business or larger, you can start experimenting with that a bit more
Right.
because you got branding right now and awareness. So,
Right.
and more people that would experience that, right, and see it.
Mhm. Right.
So,
So, Sean, just curious, are you using AI today? What type
yes.
of AI tools are you using?
GPT, Claude, and then all of these apps that we work with, they all seem to have AI kind of enabled, situations. So, yeah, it's quite
Mhm.
frequent.
Right, yeah, it's more common now with ChatGPT, which is amazing, right? Um, it's incredible, but yeah, so those are yeah, pretty much, it's a tool that you really have to know how to use it because it spits out what you feed it. Like, if it's just very
Yeah.
broad, it will give you very broad answer, but it's very, very specific and you teach it, it could be very, very powerful tool.
Well,
For
like I
sure.
was talking to my son, like you can't use it like Siri, right? Or Google,
Mhm.
like recall. It can do that, but that's like a fraction.
Okay. Mhm.
Evolved past that. That they figured out how to put a library of
Mhm.
knowledge
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
web, right? With Google and index it and slowly try and maybe find the wrong answer. But now, you know, you can not only recall, but get to what you actually need or challenge it, right? So
Right.
that's kind of the next evolution is the prompting.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
just recall.
That's yeah, no, for sure. Well, Sean, I've learned so much in this episode. I know you provide so much value uh to businesses out there, and I've just looked at your website. It's incredible, what services you do provide. Can you tell people how to get a hold of you and your company and all that?
Well, we can be reached on our website. We have a Let's Connect button right there on the top right. That would be the best way to get hold of us, right? We'd do a discovery call to see if we can assist the client, right? If we've got the resources or specific areas where we could be valuable to the potential client
Awesome.
in their
Awesome.
financial journey with accounting and tax compliance,
All right.
tax planning and tax strategy. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. All right, go check them out,
And
guys.
and that would be just one thing, Janet. I would say that to do that, you'd go to smithcpasassociates.com, and it's right down the landing page, top right, the Let's Connect.
Alrighty. Everyone, if you're building, leading, and planning your next moves, subscribe and join us until next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.